Hi everyone. Oh Jesus Christ, thick boy! I just turned the camera on. Hi everybody. This is actually Devin, solidly, for the first time in like forever. It feels like a lot of anxiety has been lifted off of me, and that's probably because of our change of scenery. Like, we have officially moved in with our fiance and we're living full-time with them, and we're not going to college anymore for the moment, or at least this semester, but that's another story. I will get into that in another video. But today I wanted to bring up something really important that I kind of realized like at midnight or like 5 in the morning the other day. What it really means to be the host of a system. Like, a lot of people talk about being the host, like, you know, being the original, the one that was born into the body, the one that defaults out, the one that has to do all the stuff, the boring one, the face that talks to the world. But you're so much more than that. Like, being a host is so much more than just being that, the bland face that deals with the world. You don't have to be the one that, like, suffers through this disorder. You can rock it. Being the kind of host that's always just down in the dumps and miserable with their life is just, like, a really sad fate. And I feel really bad for all the hosts who are that way, and I'm still working on not being that way. Honestly, it's hard to not be a host that's all down in the dumps. Having DID or OSDD or any dissociative disorder that results in alters is really hard. But you don't have to be this one person like holding a lantern and fighting off all these demons in your head. You can work together with your alters, and it can turn into something that's so much more mutually beneficial and healthier than that. Like, I started thinking of about a bazillion metaphors to describe them, so I'm just going to talk about a couple of them. One of which is, like, my favorite. I don't know if there's any Lord of the Rings fans out there, but there's that one scene in, like, the third movie where this guy named Aragorn, he's, like, a knight, he's got, like, a sword and stuff. He's leading this army, and he goes and gives this really big speech that just, like, lifts everyone's spirits and gets them, like, ready to fight and face the world. And you can be that for your system. You can be that one standing and, like, directing. You can be the conductor. You can be the one who inspires your alters and simultaneously takes care of both of them and yourself. And yes, it does take a long time to do that. This is so much easier said than done. And I'm not saying that this is going to be a quick and easy process. We're 22 and basically had, like, several, like, mental breakdowns and, like, massive revelations realizing what life does and does not have to be recently. And I don't want anybody to be trapped in their old mindsets either, especially if it causes them a lot of harm. Once you start working together with your alters, you can find exactly, like, what is making them uncomfortable, what causes them to, like, lash out at you, and what causes, like, all that discomfort that comes with dissociative disorders. See, even I can't say that stuff right sometimes. And this is the phase where you kind of have to go in and, like, deal with all the trauma and all the things that you don't want to remember. And I know that that's a really hard thing, and it does not have to be quick. It could take years, and it took years in our case, so, like, that's totally normal. It's normal to not be able to work easily with your alters at first, but as you, like, grow up a little bit more, and as your brain matures, like, your alters can become a part of your life that really helps you. And this can apply to anybody. Anybody can grow their brain. Like, it doesn't matter if you're in your middle ages, or, like, if you're a senior, if you're a child, whatever, anybody's brain can grow. And, like, if you have DID, then there's a lot in there that's tucked away. And you can still grow. There's still time to grow. You can change and be whatever you want to be as a host. You're not stuck as just the lame one. You can be the cool one. Hosts can be cool. Maybe. Yes. And hosts should also be more assertive. That's another thing. Try to be more assertive as a host. I know it's the hardest thing, but pro tip, life tip. You are valued, you are a good person, and you deserve good things. Being a host of a DID or OSDD system does not make you a bad person. Like, there's no way in heck that would make you a bad person. Like, it is not your fault. Anything of that. Like, all of that is not your fault. And you should not feel bad for having alters. ever. It's not your fault, and I can't say that enough. Love yourselves, guys. And another one of the metaphors that I thought of was in comparison to kind of like a video game that we used to play a lot of Dragon Age. But there's like these guys that have a bunch of war dogs. There's like these kennel masters, and they've got these dogs that they can like sick on the bad guys. And think of like the bad guys as like tasks, like, you know, like doing the laundry or like a homework assignment. And then think of yourself as a kennel master, and then your alters as the dogs. Like, you could lock your dogs up. You could lock them in the cage and keep them hidden away in there, but what's that gonna do to the dog? The dog is going to be mad. The dog's not going to dig that. So you want to work together with your dogs, build good relationships, treat them well, treat your alters well. I know it's hard to do that and it's hard to accept them, and sometimes they're just really weird and really scary alters, and I totally get that. But in the long run, you gotta love them. They're a part of you. They're like part of your team. You don't have to think of like you as like an one singular thing. You can be a team. Maybe I should make that into a sticker or something. You can be a team. Working together as a team with your alters is an infinitely easier way than trying to lock them up. And I speak from experience. Like, there was an alter that there was an alter that another alter that's very similar to me locked up about 8 years ago, and he recently like broke back out, and he was like, dude, why do you do that? Like, that was totally pointless. And I was like, you right though. In the long run, locking alters up is kind of delaying the inevitable. Like, granted, sometimes it does help you like take your time to process, but if you take things at your own pace and don't push yourself when you know you're like going too hardcore with your mental health, like, things will be okay. Take care of yourselves. Don't push yourselves too much, and love yourselves and every part of you and your teams and everything. And one of the most important things about being a host is to remember that it's okay to exist. It's okay to exist and take up space. You deserve to be here. You deserve to have a body. You shouldn't feel ashamed for having a body or being like okay with it. You shouldn't feel ashamed for feeling grounded or liking music or existing. Don't feel ashamed for existing, and we love you too. I hope this was inspiring, because these are all the little things I've been like trying to say to myself to, like, you know, put myself up to do things, you know, like go and help my sister run away from my father right about now. But stay strong, everybody. Fight your fights. Don't give up. We are rooting for you over here. So take care of yourselves, goblins, and if you're not a goblin, all you have to do is hit subscribe and you'll join our little family here on YouTube, the Gob Squad. So take care of yourselves, everybody, and we'll see you all in the next video. Thick boy's loving it here. Say hi, Thick boy.